All right, it's Friday. You know what that means. Time for the company quiz. Here's how it works. I take stories making headlines in the news and ask related trivia questions. Here to play today, media reporter from The Hill and today fan of the Kansas City Royals, Joe Concha, and healthcare analyst and author Seth Denson. And Lindsay, defending her title, is ready to play. Everybody ready?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, game on. All right, question one. Several presidential candidates this year were women, and one of them has just been nominated for vice president, Kamala Harris, in case you haven't been paying attention. But who was the first woman to ever run for president? Was it A, Belva Ann Lockwood, B, Victoria Woodhull, C, Shirley Chisholm, or D, Margaret Chase Smith?
It's Kamala, by the way, Sean. Don't get that wrong, or else you're going to get in trouble.
Good
Kamala,
point.
Kamala.
Okay, we've got 3 C's and 3 wrongs. It was Victoria Woodhull. She ran in 1872, folks. I don't know how you didn't know this. Also, her and her sister were the first female brokers on Wall Street. FYI, use that one this weekend. All
I
right.
think we were using the SAT method there. When in doubt, see it out.
Yeah.
I like
that. This explains a lot about where you went to school. All right. I don't even know where that is. I just threw that out there. All right, question 2. Russia announced this week that they've approved a vaccine for COVID-19 and has offered to help the United States, but the U.S. has declined. Relations between the U.S. and Russia have been fraught since World War II, leading to the Cold War. Who coined the phrase Cold War? A, Winston Churchill. B, Harry Truman. C, George Orwell. Or D, Dwight D. Eisenhower?
It's a trick question.
Come on, let's get some things up there. You know what? If you had just kept your philosophy going, you would have won. It was C, George Orwell.
That was my second guess.
Yeah, well, guess what? That's not how it works. It was 1945. It was an essay called You and the Atlantic Bomb. Oh, there you go. All right. We're shooting 0 for 2. Let's go. Question 3. Trump has been in the news for his comments about Kamala Harris, being nasty, and some say his choice of words is considered sexist, and by some I mean the media. But which politician once called Kamala Harris the best-looking attorney general in the country? A, Barack Obama, B, Joe Biden, C, Bill Clinton, or D, Bernie Sanders? Get some letters up, folks.
Obvious? Is this the obvious one? I don't know.
I don't know if there is
If that's Joe Concha, then yes, it's the obvious one. It's Barack Obama. And yes, Joe Concha, he got panned for using for being sexist. So there you go. Interesting. Little side note there. All right. So next question. If Biden wins in November and Kamala becomes VP, her husband will be the second gentleman in the White House. But which president is the only one who never got married? Not before, during, nor after their presidency. A, James Buchanan, B, James Monroe, C, James McHenry, or D, James Polk. So clearly it was a James. It's just a question of which James you do this with. Come on.
Zero idea.
Joe Concha out to a 2-0 lead. That's right. It was James Buchanan. He was our 15th president. And it was his niece that served as the first lady. Question 5.
Second guess.
Yeah. Well, come on, guys. None of them are C. He's actually winning with A's, just so you know.
Oh, we should catch on,
Mike
Seth.
Pence.
Concept, the A's.
Mike Pence said he's looking forward to going head-to-head with Kamala in the VP debate, which is in Salt Lake. Who were the first participants in the first ever vice presidential debate? Was it A, Spiro Agnew and Sargent Shriver, B, Bob Dole and Walter Mondale, C, George H.W. Bush and Walter Mondale, or D, George H.W. Bush and Geraldine Ferraro? Come on. Joe Concha keeps it going with Lindsay putting a point on the board.
Finally.
That's right, folks. It was Bob Dole and Walter Mondale in 1976. All right. Joe Concha's up 3-1-0. Question 6. Kamala Harris, Biden's newly minted VP nominee, is the second African-American woman elected to the U.S. Senate. Who was the first? And as you may recall, Joe Biden says that he was endorsed by the only one. Was it A, Barbara Jordan, B, Carol Moseley Braun, C, Shirley Chisholm, or D, Eleanor Holmes Norton?
Ooh.
Get them up, get them up, get them up. Lindsay and Joe score again. That's right. It was Carol Moseley Braun.
Seth, come on.
By the way,
we're no
Seth,
more C's. The C is
Seth,
gone. We're not.
Hold on, ready?
I'm going to answer
I may just
C.
have to insert this. Ready? Question 7. What day is today? A, Friday. B, not Friday. All right, Seth.
Alexa, what day
Not
is
a
it?
By the way, on that last question, I will say that was the one question during the debate, if you recall, that she went after Biden on when he said that he was pleased to be endorsed by the only African-American in the Senate. She was like, hello. Anyway, question 7. This is Seth's chance to get on the board.
I don't know. My C.
Hopefully it's not C.
All right. President Trump will square off against Joe Biden this November, and it's sure to be an eventful election season. But only one president other than George Washington has run for re-election unopposed. Who was it? A, Martin Van Buren, B, James Madison, C, John Tyler, or D, Seth? James Monroe. Seth.
I can take a hint.
C.
Oh.
Oh my God, it's D. It's D, James Monroe.
On the board.
All
No
right.
goose eggs today.
Woo!
Joe Concha reclaims his title, company quiz winner. That was big. I'm glad to see, man, whew, Seth, to get you on the board. I don't know how you pulled it out at the end.
Did
My
it.
prep staff is fired. They're done. You know.
No, I'm glad you got on the board. That was big.
He's drink. Oh, I thought you were drinking.
Right, it's a Stanley Cup. It's like the
All
cup.
right.
You can drink out of it.
Or kiss it.
We're going to get a better
Pass
trophy
through
for
ribbon.
next week. I promise. Next week, we got an actual award coming. I'm not telling you what it is, Joe Concha. I want you next week to defend your title. All right, guys, it was a fun game. Clear winner this week. Thanks for playing. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
All right, congrats, Joe Concha. A lot of hot topics discussed today. We'll be right back to give you our take.